In the heart of Lagos, where churches sprouted like mushrooms after the rain, Pastor Ken stood out among the rest. His church, Fire of Deliverance Ministry, grew faster than anyone could have imagined. It wasn't because of his deep knowledge of the Bible or his anointing, but because of his ability to see visions. He could tell a member exactly what problem they were facing, but that was where his power stopped. There was never a solution, only more fear and more offerings. Brother James, he would say, standing close enough to his congregation member that their breaths almost mixed, I see a great battle in your life. The enemies from your village are after you. What should I do, Pastor? Brother James would ask in terror. Pray harder and sow a dangerous seed, Pastor Ken would respond. And just like that, money would flow into the church. What his members did not know was that Pastor Ken's power did not come from God. It came from a babalawo, a powerful herbalist who had given him charms and potions that he rubbed on his body before every service. These charms allowed him to see visions, but the power came at a cost. Every month, he had to make sacrifices, goats, fowls, and sometimes even cows, to maintain his prophetic gift. For years the church business flourished. Pastor Ken grew wealthy, buying cars, houses, and lands. People flocked to his church, desperate for a prophecy. However, one day, the babalawo summoned him with grave news. The spirits are no longer satisfied with goats and fowls, the old man said, staring deep into Pastor Ken's soul. You have 3 weeks to sacrifice 3 children from your church, or your powers will vanish, and your end will be miserable. Pastor Ken's heart pounded. 3 children, he whispered. Yes, the babalawo nodded. All you need to do is declare that some children in your church are possessed. Their parents will bring them for deliverance, and during the session, you will touch their foreheads with this ring. He handed Pastor Ken a ring with strange carvings. The children will fall ill and die shortly after. You will blame the deaths on the demons that resisted your prayers. It was a wicked plan, but Pastor Ken had no choice. Losing his powers meant losing everything. The following Sunday, he stood before the congregation, his voice filled with false urgency. Last night God revealed to me that there are children in this church possessed by demons. Parents, bring your children for deliverance before it is too late. Fear swept through the church. No one wanted their child to be possessed, so they obeyed without question. That evening, Pastor Ken performed the fake deliverance, pressing his cursed ring against the foreheads of 3 unsuspecting children. They screamed, fell, and began to shiver. But something strange happened. Pastor Ken got carried away in the excitement of his own power. Instead of touching only 3 children, he touched 7. It wasn't until the service ended that he realized his mistake. His stomach churned with fear. What had he done? Panicked, he rushed back to the babalawo, hoping to convince him that more souls were better. Baba, I have done the work, but instead of 3, I gave you 7, he said with a nervous smile. The babalawo's face darkened. What foolishness is this? He bellowed. The spirits demanded 3. You have disrespected them. But Baba, isn't more better? Fool, the old man spat. The spirits are very specific. They do not accept mistakes. A strange wind blew through the shrine, knocking over calabashes and candles. The babalawo's eyes rolled back as he let out a shriek. The spirits have rejected you. You will suffer for your greed. From that moment, Pastor Ken's mind shattered. He began to wander the streets, half naked, singing the same song over and over. Baba wanted 3, and I added 4 more. What is my crime? What is my crime? People watched in horror as the once powerful pastor danced in the marketplace, clapping his hands and laughing to himself. He would stop random strangers and whisper, "Can you see the vision? I see something," before bursting into laughter and running away. The news spread like wildfire. People who once trusted prophets blindly began to question everything. Some stopped going to church altogether, choosing instead to pray in their homes. Others became more discerning, asking God for direction before joining any ministry. As for Pastor Ken, his madness only grew worse. His riches vanished, his congregation scattered, and his once mighty fire of deliverance ministry became an abandoned building overrun by weeds. No one knew where he ended up, but some say he still roams the streets, singing his sorrowful tune.